flare out and I have my first blending zone. And from here, I don't move on into anything above this. So now I only blend back down until this is gone, and then I move on. And this is going to help me keep everything leveled.
Jadi teknik utamanya adalah teknik blending down, di mana setelah membuat guideline pertama, dia menggunakan ski scoop untuk memastikan tidak ada garis keras. Tetapi dari sini guideline pertama ini akan di blending langsung ke kulit dulu sebelum maju ke proses berikutnya.
So I keep working until this line, and now you can see it's softening up already, right? So as clean as I get it first, and then I move on. And this is going to help me not get lost.
Jadi seperti kalian lihat, rambutnya sudah mulai tergradasi. Nah, dengan melakukan ini kalian bisa dengan mudah maju ke step berikutnya tanpa perlu kembali ke step awal.
I'm going to do the same thing. So now I apply my half guard, my 0.5. And I follow the same steps, 0.5 all the way open, create my new blending zone, and then re-blend everything back down.
Oke, setelah guard open, sekarang dia akan menggunakan guard setengah dengan lever open, dan dengan membuat zona guideline baru, dia akan mulai fade ke bawah kembali dan blending dengan guideline sebelumnya.
Now I do the same thing, number 1 all the way open.
Nah, sekarang kita ulang lagi dengan guard nomor 1, lever open, dengan guideline yang paralel dengan sebelumnya.
So it's very repetitive.
Jadi banyak pengulangan memang.
I always stand back and look at it from different angles because sometimes the light is going to hit it differently. So you always want to be aware of how the angles are from each side.
Nah, Sofie selalu memastikan bahwa dia melangkah mundur sedikit untuk melihat kondisi fadingnya, karena terkadang apa yang terlihat terpengaruh oleh cahaya dan bayangan yang ada di dekat customer atau dengan dari cahaya ruangan.
Because the last thing you want to happen is that it looks good in the chair, and then when they leave and they walk out, you see that little chili bowl? Like a heavyweight line.
Yeah, I got that.
You got it?
Jadi yang kita tidak mau adalah kalau misalnya kita percaya diri pas selesai potong rambutnya, kita anggap sudah tergradasi, sudah faded, terus pas customer keluar ternyata banyak garis di mana-mana. Nah, itu yang mau kita hindari, karena itu penting untuk kita mundur, maju, cross check, pastikan hasilnya sudah sesuai.
Alright, so now anything above a 1.5, I usually do clipper over comb because it's easier to smooth out the area than to go in with guards, because what happens too is the head shape, you got a lot of dents, right? And it waves if you constantly run it with the head shape.
Jadi di atas guard 1,5, Sofie menggunakan clipper over comb dengan guardnya dipasang di clippernya. Tujuannya karena 1,5 akan blending lebih baik dengan guideline sebelumnya. Dan saat kita masang comb seperti ini, maka potongan akan terblending dengan lebih masuk akal. So do you want to talk about if you don't use guard?
Oh yeah, if I don't use a guard, you're relying on the comb angle. So if you're off, you're going to take off too much and you can't put it back. So for me, having a guard always be in the first process of my beginning, whatever area I'm on, if it's a 1, if it's a half, if it's a 1.5, that same guard, when you apply the comb right next to it, you just add a different layer, comb almost, to your existing. So the lines connect without you having to focus on the angle of your comb.
Jadi di saat kita tidak menggunakan guard sambil melakukan clipper over comb, yang terjadi adalah kita harus mengontrol kondisi sisir dan sudut sisir untuk memastikan bisa terjadi blending. Tetapi di saat kita menggunakan guard terakhir yang kita pakai untuk over comb ke atas, maka sisir kita akan satu guard sedikit di atas guard terakhir yang kita pakai, sehingga blending pun akan lebih alami.
Should we take some questions?
Yeah, if you want to. Do we get question?
One question. Please.
Can we see the slide?
Nggak bisa bahasa Inggris.
I remind people, if you want to ask a question, go to slide.do #StayGold. Yang mau pertanyaan silakan ke sle.do #StayGold. But for now, I'll go around. If you have a question, raise your hand. I'll walk. Anybody want to ask a question? Don't be shy, man. Come on. Yang mau nanya angkat tangan. Don't shy, jangan malu-malu. I'll ask. Sofie, I asked a question. Sofie,
What's up?
I didn't think what that question no one asked. Any question for Sofie? Oh, we got one. Hold on. I'm coming to you, my friend. Yes, sir. What's your name?
Hey Sofie, my name is Lars. I got actually a question for you because I can see on your Instagram you're really active with Babylus, and I see Babylus is getting like into the market since 1 year really powerfully. And my question is, do you see any difference in using Babylus and Wall? Or is it only because you got sponsored and you like the product, you like the color, or do you definitely see a difference?
I definitely see a difference. When I first started cutting hair, I actually did use Wall and Andis. They've been around for the longest. I think it's easier to get as well. But the one thing I like that's different about Babylus, and this is if I wasn't working for them, I would still use the tools, is that the technology feels a little bit more advanced for me than other stuff. So what we focus on is better battery life, better blade quality. So this, for example, we have a new graphite material. So what happens to with tools is that you remember, like sometimes if you don't spray them, they get dry. So with graphite material, they're almost self-lubricating, so they always kind of stay moist whether you oil them or not. So it's just stuff like that that I've seen improvements on that I drift more towards the company.
And what about a fading process? Is it like different than using Wall?
It's definitely different because the old school clippers, remember they're just kind of a free floating. All of our tools have some sort of locking detent, which allows people to have more consistency in where they're shifting because you'll actually know where you are. Versus like the old traditional ones that I used to learn on, it's just a free floating. So sometimes you could be off a little bit, you can't really tell.
Okay, great, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for your question.
Round of applause, please.
Yeah, if you guys have questions, ask. Like, this is a...
I need like 2 minutes, 3 minutes to translate the whole conversation we just had. Oke, jadi
Oh, shit, I forgot.
Jadi pertanyaannya adalah Sofie sebagai ambassador Babyliss, apakah menurut dia Babyliss adalah brand yang memang dia prefer dibandingkan brand seperti Wall atau Andis? Nah, apakah alasannya hanya karena dia disponsor atau memang dia merasa bahwa kualitas clippernya lebih bagus? Nah, jawaban Sofie untuk dia pribadi, meskipun dia bukan jadi ambassador Babyliss pun, menurut dia Babyliss mempunyai kualitas tertentu yang dia sukai. Contohnya seperti liver guard di samping yang membantu dia mengikuti fading lebih gampang. Dan kedua adalah kalau kalian perhatikan, I'm gonna borrow your clipper, so that's okay, not the one you're using. So kalau kalian lihat sini, blade Babyliss warnanya hitam, dan ini dibuat dengan bahan grafit. Grafit adalah serupa dengan bahan yang dipakai untuk membuat pensil. Nah, yang terjadi dengan menggunakan bahan grafit, saat kita menggunakan clipper zaman dulu, clipper sekarang, kita harus menggunakan oil untuk memastikan tidak panas. Tapi dengan bahan grafit, cenderung dia akan sedikit meminyaki dirinya sendiri setelah 4-5 kali pakai. Dan dari sana kita tidak perlu oil seintens saat menggunakan clipper lain. Kira-kira seperti itu. I did it.
Nice. Any more?
Ya, ada pertanyaan lagi? Any more question? Please duration. Do we have Slido yet? Do we have Slido yet? Yes, silakan. Oh, someone on the back. Question, Sofie.
Okay.
Sofie StayGold, hello.
Hello.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Hidayat. I am from Bogor, Indonesia. I want to ask a question for you. You have been learning barber and experiencing it for about 10 years, right? And what's the most difficult thing you found in barbering? It is about communicating with someone or skilling your barber, or what is it? Please tell me.
I think it's a series of different things. I think understanding different styles is tough. That's always challenging because there's always new styles to evolve and get into. Another thing is learning how to fade really, really clean. I think that is an endless goal that could always be better. Like no matter what level you are, it could always be more clean. Working with different head shapes, I think, is a challenge because as much as you know the step process, depending on the person that you get, different head shape, different densities, it's always a different formula. So learning how to adapt to all spectrums of hair and head shapes, I think, is a constant battle that really never goes away.
Alright, thank you very much.
Yes.
So, jadi pertanyaannya adalah dengan 10 tahun pengalaman sebagai barber, kira-kira apa sih kesulitan paling berat untuk Sofie? Nah, kalau menurut Sofie, sebenarnya masalah kesulitannya adalah suatu kesulitan yang memang akan selalu ada. Mau sejauh mana akan selalu ada. Seperti saat melakukan fading, setiap hari pun dia akan mencari cara untuk buat video lebih smooth. Atau saat melakukan teknik potongan atas, setiap hari akan ada tren berbeda. Atau setiap hari klien dia akan punyai kepala yang berbeda-beda, struktur kepala yang beda-beda, tipe rambut yang beda-beda. Jadi sebenarnya kemampuan untuk beradaptasi sama sehari-hari kesulitan ini buat dia itu adalah hal yang harus dihadapi sebagai barber. Tepuk tangan dulu. Should we do the first giveaway?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's get it fun.
Okay. Jadi kita akan melakukan giveaway pertama. Actually, you see about the giveaway. I'll translate to Indonesian. So
What's the giveaway first?
your
Should we explain it first?
Your lovely razor, right?
Okay.
Right.
So, we will be doing a giveaway for this razor here.
You have the razor.
But where's the other? It's on the side somewhere.
Okay, so jadi kita akan melakukan giveaway pertama. Giveaway ini adalah Irving razor. Thank you very much. Here, go promote your product. I'll hold one for you.
Okay, so the first, we're doing this giveaway. I brought some back for you guys. I know it's hard to get from the States. So this is going to be the giveaway tool that we're doing.
Jadi ini adalah giveaway yang akan kita lakukan pertama.
And let me explain the tool so you kind of understand what it is. This is a tool that I've been using for a very long time. I love the weight, the quality, and the tension control for the blade.
Jadi ini ada peralatan yang paling disukai Sofie secara razor. Dia menyukai beratnya, kualitasnya, dan grip dari alatnya sendiri.
So what's really special about it is this tension control here. You got to be really careful because you don't want it to cut you. But so I loosen this, right? You loosen the dial, and this is gonna rotate out this piece. Okay. So that's what it looks like first. And then you apply the razor into the cartridge, and it's magnetic, so it stays on. It's magnet, and then you rotate it back, and you lock it. And what's cool with the locking is that it holds it very tight, so you get a very sturdy flow.
Jadi seperti kalian lihat, razor ini diciptakan seperti ini, dan supaya kalian tahu, razor ini bukan razor merek custom, ini memang juga sponsor by iRig, right? So memang brand ini mensponsori StayGold untuk menciptakan blade di mana kalian bisa mengontrol levernya seperti tadi, ya. Dan kalian nggak perlu takut blade kalian goyang-goyang lagi karena akan semua di tempat. Okay, so should we talk about the game?
Yeah, which game are we doing?
We're doing the name of the clipper.
Or do we do the other one? What's the second
I think
question?
it's the clipper name first.
What is the other question? What's the other activity?
The other question is the best question. We haven't had a question yet, so let's wait for that. Okay, so
Wait, should we bring up 3 people? And that way it slims down.
then we wait for them to raise their hand, and then you choose. We'll ask the question. They raise their hand. We'll
Yeah.
take them to the
Okay,
question.
you do it.
That's okay.
Yeah, you do the picking.
I do the question. No, I can't do the picking. They'll hit me.
Okay, go ahead.
You do the picking.
Okay.
Okay, ready. Jadi pertanyaannya adalah apa nama clipper kesukaan StayGold? The question is, what is StayGold's favorite clipper?
That one I see a hand.
Okay, we got one. Come up stage, my love. Who else you want?
Who else? One right here.
Come here, roll.
There's one more. And
One
that
more.
one over there.
And one over there. Come.
Okay.
Ooh. Welcome.
Okay.
Welcome. Round of applause. Let's go follow the blues. Come. Hey, hello. I saw you outside. Sorry, come.
Alright, go for it.
Okay. Do you know your answer yet? No. Okay. Wait, this is awkward. If all 3 of you
Yeah.
answer the right question,
Yeah.
we add another question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we eliminate. Right.
Process of elimination.
Okay, ready? Okay, so what is Sophie's favorite clipper? Oh wait, hold on. Oh, no. Okay, you want to hear the whisper? So you know
What was
which
it?
one is the winner?
Say it again. Okay. We got one. We got one. I'm all talking into my mic.
So the right answer is, you answer. Jawaban benarnya adalah,
The answer is the black effect. So you win.
yay, Errol! Thank you very much for participating. Better luck next time.
Bro.
Welcome,
Thank you.
Errol. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to this man.
Congrats. Alright, we'll do the next one a little bit later. Yep.
Let's get back to the haircut. That was fun. Sorry.
We're gonna think of the second
I
activity.
feel like I have the powers.
I know.
So do you want to run us through the haircut you
Yes.
now?
Alright, so we finished blending this, right? So whenever I'm doing any haircuts that have a little bit more weight towards the top,
Jadi setiap StayGold melakukan potongan rambut di mana dia ada bagian atas lebih tebal daripada yang lain.
I like to use texturizing shears
Yang sering digunakan adalah gunting tekstur
that have more of a less teeth.
yang dengan geriginya tidak terlalu banyak, jadi jarang, kira-kira 30-50%.
And these are also very good technique to use when you're digging into heavily dented areas within the head.
Nah, jadi teknik ini selain mengurangi ketebalan, kalian juga bisa menggunakan teknik ini untuk memblending daerah-daerah di mana kepalanya sedikit berlubang.
And what it does is that it's not cutting a lot of hair off because it doesn't have as much teeth, but you're creating gaps in the dark spots that now make the blend look more even and great. The gradient looks more smooth.
Jadi karena jarak antar geriginya tidak terlalu banyak, kalian tidak terlalu potong banyak rambut dengan gunting seperti ini, sehingga kalian bisa menciptakan blending lebih baik dan tidak mengurangi ketebalan rambut terlalu banyak. And you want to talk if they don't have it?
And if you don't have it, you can use your clippers the same way. You would just do a corner blending. So it's similar to using texturizing shears. You can use a clipper on the side, but depending on what length you're at. So up here, I'd probably do like a 1.5 or a 1, because that's what we started with. So if that was the guard that we were in, I'd simply use the corner cutting technique, and I would blend it this way. So it's very similar to using texturizing shears.
Oke, jadi kalau misalnya kalian tidak punya gunting tekstur seperti yang dimiliki StayGold tadi, kalian juga bisa menggunakan clipper langsung, tergantung dari guard apa yang terakhir kalian pakai di area yang mau kalian blending. Dan tekniknya adalah dengan masuk seperti tadi dikasih lihat oleh StayGold ke area-area memang ini blending dan hanya menggunakan ujung bagian clipper.
So I'm gonna go all the way up with this until I smooth it out, and we're just kind of keeping it more of a little bit more of a weight towards the top, but keeping it still mostly square shaped.
Jadi dia akan mulai blending ke atas, tetapi pastikan bahwa bentuknya akan tetap square dari depan.
And I'm gonna work it all the way to the top wings.
Jadi dia akan mengangkat sisir yang jauh ke atas sampai mendekati ujung bagian terpanjang kepala rambutnya. So again, if you want to ask a question, go to slide.do. Go to slide.do #StayGold. Kalau kalian mau nanya ke SLE.do #StayGold. Kalau misalnya kalian mau angkat tangan, silakan langsung ke slide.do #StayGold, slide.do #StayGold.
Is there already questions in there or not yet?
I'm not sure. I'll find out. Why not? Do you have a question yet? Find out. No, not yet. So get your question in. I think this will help. Your question in Slido does give you a chance to win something, you know. You might get that razor if you ask a good question in Slido. Kalau kalian bertanya di Slido, ada kemungkinan kalian bisa memenangkan razor seperti teman kita yang sebelum ini. Jadi pastikan kalian bertanya, give good question, tanya pertanyaan yang bagus sehingga kalian bisa memenangkan razor. Irving, is it Irving?
Irving Barber Company.
Irving what?
Irving Barber Company.
Irving Barber Company's StayGold edition.
Yes.
I have a problem with it. Okay, so you wanna get into what you're doing StayGold?
So I'm following my trimmer line, and as I'm using my razor, I'm only controlling the front end or the back end. You always want to make sure you keep an eye on which direction it's moving, because you don't want to like cut someone's eyebrows off.
Jadi saat melakukan outline seperti ini, penting untuk kalian fokus antara di blade depan dan juga blade belakang dan memastikan bahwa kalian tidak memotong area yang tidak mau kalian potong. Kontrol razor seperti ini sangat penting untuk safety dan juga akurasi.
And what this does is that when you use a razor, you're giving the haircut about 2 to 3 days longer before it grows back.
Nah, saat kalian menggunakan razor seperti ini, yang terjadi pada rambut adalah kalian memberi ekstra 2-3 hari of freshness. 2-3 hari kelihatan lebih fresh dan akan lebih lama waktunya untuk tumbuh kembali. We got Slido question? Put in your question, my loves. Put in your question, you get to win a razor. Yang mau nanya-nanya, you get to win a razor. It's a wonderful razor. Can I keep it? Technically, I've been asking the question.
I know, right? So now when you look at it, you've cleaned out the edges, which also drops the taper. Because even as you're doing the taper, and once you add the line, it almost gives it the illusion that it's lower now.
Nah, yang bisa kalian perhatikan adalah di saat kalian mulai melakukan outline depan dan belakang, yang terjadi adalah taper itu akan kelihatan lebih rendah. Jadi dengan memberikan outline ke taper yang kalian buat, itu akan memberi ilusi seakan-akan gradingnya terlihat lebih rendah.
The edge ups are super important, especially if they start having like beards and stuff. It's helping to frame the face.
Jadi ujung-ujung dari rambut itu sangat penting karena dengan menggunakan razor, apalagi untuk orang-orang yang mempunyai janggut atau kumis, ini akan membantu untuk memberikan frame atau bingkai yang lebih bagus ke struktur wajah orang tersebut.
So what I'm doing now is I'm going back in to redefine anything that I see, because usually once I line everything up, you start to see other parts.
Nah, setelah melakukan line up, terkadang kalian harus kembali untuk memastikan bagian-bagian yang kira-kira masih perlu blending tambahan. Karena terkadang setelah line up, bentuknya pun berubah sehingga ada area-area yang belum sempurna. Can we get the Slido up? I think some people asked question already. Slido-nya bisa keluar nggak? Now it's loading.
Nothing?
Not yet. People are happy with you, Sofie. They're not asking question. So, I'll ask question. You ready?
Ready.
So, who do you think is the Oh no. It's coming. I think this is what happens when it's coming. Question. Yeah, we're waiting for a little bit. So how's everybody doing? Everybody okay? Yeah. Are you satisfied that you get to see Sofie directly now? Yeah.
Dia motong ke tempat itu karena murah.
You wanna get selfie with Sofie? You can. That's my thing, man. You're not taking it. Okay. Hold on. Sofie, do you like the pictures?
What's up?
You don't look like the paintings. Okay, do you guys think Sofie look better in real life or in Instagram? Real life?
Oh,
Good for
thank you.
And so who here actually follows Sofie? Raise your hand. That would be weird if you don't. Raise your hand kalau misalnya kalian follow Sofie di Instagram, angkat tangan. Because if you don't, then why are you here? Okay, slide up, loading. Exciting. Okay, we'll get back to the haircut first then. Sofie, back to the haircut. Tell me what you're doing.
Alright, so now we're going in. I'm gonna cut the top of the parietal ridge.
Oke, sekarang Sofie akan mulai memotong bagian atas parietal ridge, yaitu bagian lengkungan kepala ini. Dia akan mulai bagian atas dari potongan ini.
And the area that I figure out where I'm gonna part that hair is determined by two angles of the comb, right? From the top of the head and to the side of the head, and you find that intersection, and that's where you're gonna split it.
Jadi cara Sofie menentukan parting untuk rambutnya, dia dengan cara sisir di atas dan di samping dan melihat sudut di mana rambut itu terbagi. Kira-kira di daerah square-nya sisir itu, maka di sana akan dibuat parting. So what's your main influence into your technique?
Main influence for what?
Like how did you get to your technique now, you know?
You know, it just kind of shuffles and changes over time. I think when, I see a lot of stuff on Instagram, so I would try different techniques, and then I try to mix it into my own. So sometimes it works for different haircuts. So if I do like this haircut versus like a crop, it shifts and changes depending on what I'm doing.
Oke, jadi pertanyaannya adalah kira-kira apa sih influence utama Sofie saat milih tekniknya? Dan menurut Sofie, setiap potongan dia terkadang menggunakan teknik berbeda. Setiap hari dia melihat Instagram, melihat inspirasi-inspirasi baru, maka tekniknya pun kadang-kadang harus di-adjust. And do you think it's important for people to have different techniques?
Oh yeah, because what if you have clients that are running late? You need a shortcut version. You know, there's different situations that you're going to deal with as you are working in the shop that you need to make sure you stay on track.
Jadi dengan kalian memiliki beberapa teknik, hasilnya adalah di situasi tertentu, misalnya customer-nya terlambat atau
We got a couple.
Can everybody hear me? Ya, jadi kalian bisa memotong rambutnya dengan versi cepat dari teknik kalian, sehingga variasi teknik sangatlah penting. Oh, we got question. Okay, someone just said semangat. Jay said semangat. Semangat means I don't know what semangat in English. Anybody know what semangat in English? What? What? What's semangat in English? Gambatte. That's Japanese. What's semangat in English? I don't know what's semangat in English. Just so you know, I forgot to tell you this. If you do post your question on Slido, try to put your real name because we won't get you if you don't know your name. You know, you might not get the giveaway because we don't know your name. So that takes out semangat. Jadi pastikan kalian menanyakan pertanyaan di Slido dengan nama asli agar supaya kita bisa memanggil kalian saat kalian memenangkan razornya. Okay. First question, Martin Ford. Ready for his StayGold?
Ready.
Pertanyaan pertama. For young barbers, what's more important? Gaining a clientele by consistently showing up, or gain more followers and like in social media? I'll translate first. Hold on. Jadi untuk barber muda, apa yang lebih penting? Menambah klien dengan selalu datang ke barbershop atau mendapat follower dan like di sosial media? Go on.
Okay, so the first thing is, of course, we live in a different time and day where it's not very looked bad upon if you focus on social media from the beginning, because you should start as soon as you can to learn how to market yourself, because the longer you invest into it, it does have a return.
Oke, jadi kita hidup di generasi agak berbeda, di mana fokus ke sosial media tidak juga memalukan, di mana kalian belajar untuk marketing diri kalian di sosial media dan umumnya itu akan membawa hasil kembali ke kalian.
But also through building a clientele that allows you to also use so many different haircuts and people as your marketing material. So it kind of goes hand in hand.
Ya, tapi di saat yang sama mempunyai banyak klien pun untuk mempunyai konten yang banyak. Sehingga untuk pertanyaan ini terkadang dua-duanya sebenarnya hampir sama pentingnya.
Yeah, you definitely want to do both. I'd say shoot for both, but obviously you want to focus on the people that are in your chair, and then on your off time when you're off, invest more time to build into your marketing, because that's the thing. With social media now, like, you can get picked up in anywhere. There's ambassadors in every country. Even for us, for Babeless, we just recently started our first group in Asia, which is in Hong Kong. So eventually, I'm sure it's going to spread around, and people are always looking for quality content of people promoting and talking about something that they can teach other people. And the more you have a reason behind that voice, you're more willing to get picked up by a company.
Short version, guys. Jadi, kill me just now. I love you, but that was good. But anyway, jadi ini penting sekali untuk kita fokus kedua-duanya, social media dan juga klien. Di saat yang paling penting adalah tetapi di saat kalian customer duduk di depan kursi kalian, fokus ke klien. Di saat kalian punya waktu kosong, fokus ke marketing. Sehingga kalian punya kesempatan untuk belajar dan menemukan hal-hal lain. Seperti sekarang Babyless baru saja launching di Hong Kong, dan mereka akan selalu mencari orang-orang dengan konten-konten yang menarik, konten-konten yang memberi inspirasi, sehingga itu bisa menjadi kesempatan kalian untuk maju ke kelas dunia. And then next question, ready?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, anonymous. Do I skip the people without names?
You can answer them, and then they just can't submit to the competition.
So, question is, there are a few of my customers asking for James Charles hairstyle that you did on him. Can you please elaborate the layering? Is it disconnected or? Jadi ada beberapa customer yang meminta potongan James Charles hairstyle yang dilakukan oleh Sofie. Jadi orang ini mau tanya kira-kira apa sih tekniknya layering, apakah potong itu disconnected atau tidak? Your answer, Sofie.
James Charles' haircut is disconnected. It's separated right at that parietal ridge area where the recession point corner is at, and then you take that back, so the side is completely different from the top. The top is all square layers.
Kalau kalian sempat cari potongan James Charles yang dilakuin oleh StayGold, potongannya itu adalah potongan disconnected, di mana disconnection terjadi di parietal ridge yang membedakan bagian atas dan bagian samping, sehingga kepanjangnya bagian samping dengan bagian atas sangat amat berbeda. And okay, Norman asks, how to be a barber influencer like you?
That's kind of the same question as the other one, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, Lisa Manoban, whether the height of the chair affects cutting. So do you think the height of the chair affects cutting? Menurut dia, tinggi kursi penting gak sih ke pemotongan rambut?
It's hard because you're always all you gain is calf muscle.
Depends on your height though.
I know. That's why I use a short chair that reclines low.
Sebenarnya tergantung dari tinggi badan kalian sendiri juga. Next question.
The thing about that is like you're gonna get a lot of back problems because you're constantly leaning in.
Jadi pastikan tinggi. I think they're laughing about the question. I'm gonna find out.
Okay.
Oh, you. I know which one. Sofie. Just say no, okay? Just say no. Jadi dari The Barber menanya sangat menginspirasi, mau nanya nomor WA-nya StayGold, emoji senyum. So basically, this guy called Dev Barber, I'll pretend not to know him, I kind of know him. So he said, you're very inspirational, he wants your WhatsApp number. Just say no. Just say no.
No.
Do you think Sofie should give it to him? Do you think Sofie should give it to him?
You can talk to me on Instagram. It's the
Yeah.
same.
Okay, again, this guy.
It's funny.
Okay.
Wait,
Hamba Tuhan. In English it's Son of God, not Jesus. Jadi pertanyaannya adalah apa yang membuatmu sangat bergairah di industri barber ini sehingga dapat mematahkan dominasi barber pria yang sangat kompetitif di tempat Anda. Okay. So the question is what keeps your passion up in the industry that you can actually break the domination of men in the barbering
what
industry?
inspires me to break past the
Like
mold?
what keeps you going? Like, you know, you're a minority in the industry. How do you fight to make sure you can actually beat them, you dominate them instead, you know? So
I guess for me it was just, I mean, you're gonna deal with a lot of bullshit sometimes. So I use that as fuel. So if people are against me, I'm like, okay, I need to work hard so I can prove not only to other people but to myself that I can do it.
Jadi di industri ini banyak sekali omong kosong atau orang-orang yang berusaha menjatuhkan kalian. Jadi fokusnya adalah memastikan bahwa kalian bisa membuktikan diri sendiri dan maju dan tidak menyerah karena orang-orang lain merendahkan kalian. Tepuk tangan. Oh, like this. You wanna read it?
Go for it.
Do you think about the pistol barber?
Oh, he's a dumbass. That's my honest opinion.
Jadi yang tahu Piece of Barber, so yang nanya itu menurut dia Piece of Barber itu kayak gimana, dan menurut Sofie Piece of Barber itu dumbass artinya.
I just don't have any respect for people who are just going into the industry and spreading negativity.
Jadi Sofie nggak menghormati orang-orang yang masuk ke industri dan membuat hal-hal yang negatif atau membuat orang atau berusaha menjatuhkan orang lain.
So I don't pay no mind, honestly.
Jadi Sofie nggak terlalu peduliin Piece of Barber. And next question, okay, Aziz. Seberapa penting pencahayaan saat memotong rambut dan menurut StayGold ada perbedaankah untuk lampu kuning atau putih? Your answer, StayGold.
What's the question?
Seberapa penting pencahayaan saat Okay, here's the question. How important is lighting when you're cutting hair, and do you think what's the difference between having a yellow lighting or like white or bluish lighting?
I prefer blue lighting because it's or natural daylight because it's a little bit easier on my eyes. Yellow just takes me a long time to adjust to, but also I believe lighting is like 50% of your haircut. If you have bad lighting, you almost are guessing throughout the process and it can mess it up.
Oke, jadi pencahayaan sangat penting saat memotong rambut. Untuk StayGold sendiri dia prefer cahaya yang lebih biru atau keputihan atau cahaya natural matahari, karena di saat kita tidak bisa fokus dengan cahaya yang ada, hasilnya adalah kita tidak bisa memudahkan beradaptasi dengan kondisi rambut dan hasilnya pun tidak seakurat cahaya yang bagus. Next question, Laas. You have been to a lot of places in the world. Which place in the world had the most impact on you? Okay, I'm gonna try to kiss our ass on this, Sofie. Which place in the world had the most impact